And good evening, and welcome to the game of the week from Fort Collins, Colorado. And tonight, we are viewing the Fort Collins Lambkins, who are the home team, and they take on the visitors, crosstown rivals, the Rocky Mountain Lobos. And this primarily is for bragging rights for not only the city of Fort Collins, but really, as we look at some of the numbers here momentarily, it will be for position because the playoffs are coming and really just about 2 weeks away. Mike Ray along with Jeremy Waters, Josh Duncan, and Warren Ray bringing it to you. Good to have you along. You know, usually in most 4th of July or special celebrations, you see a number of fireworks shows that really light up the sky. And tonight could be one of those nights where both teams come in and could potentially light it up not only with a barrage of hitting, but potentially we could see a gem on the mound because both teams have very good pitchers and pitching staffs. Both the Lobos and Lambkins have players who lead the 5A Front Range League in statistics as far as wins and losses pitching, as far as hitting. And, of course, what you're going to see is that they're looking to expose each other, and both teams are chasing first-place Legacy, who is undefeated coming into tonight. And let's not forget the state standings as well besides the Front Range Conference. For the Lobos, several players lead in batting average, slugging percentage, and wins in pitching. For the Lambkins, pitching has been a strong point this season, with the leader of the Front Range League in earned run average. Both teams have 5 games remaining before the playoffs, with teams that they will be facing that they can't afford to take lightly, especially with a conference that has a lot of talent and on any given day play has shown can win. The challenge really for the Lambkins is pitching around the Lobos, who dominate in most hitting categories and have a pitcher who leads in both wins as far as pitching is concerned, but also leads in the batting average with senior Austin Allered, who when he's not pitching is usually playing first base. You know, the old saying goes, good pitching and defense defeats good hitting, and that's what will be the prescription for the Lambkins tonight to execute, along with making good plays in the field and solid pitching performance. They have a very good hitting staff. You can say the same for the Lobos. Pretty much big plays at big times, and the key will be to take advantage offensively with the openings that the Lambkins, if they allow it. We're going to take a short break, then we'll be back and discuss a little bit of the league, and we'll talk about what's coming. You're watching the Game of the Week in the pregame show on Radioactive247sports.com. We will take a timeout. Welcome back to City Park in Fort Collins. It is the game of the week. It is the Rocky Mountain Lobos, the away team, against the Fort Collins Lambkins. Starting lineups as far as hitting is concerned for the Rocky Mountain Lobos, you can see leading off is Brady Morris, followed by Kellen Hammer, and then it is John Sorensen. Batting cleanup will be Jaden Urick, followed by Austin Allered, number 5, who is batting very, very well. He's actually batting .600 for the season. And then it is Spencer Gando, 7th hitter this evening, will be Alex Gonzalez. Behind the plate, Chris Steele, and it's Trey Wagner. We're going to take a short break here. We're going to keep it right on and let you listen to the national anthem. Very game crowd here this evening for both teams. Again, the rain was threatening, and of course we had heavy rains earlier this morning and of course into the afternoon, but fortunately we are in very good shape for tonight's game. And as we mentioned, let's get the starting batting lineup here for the Fort Collins Lambkins. And leading it off for the Lambkins will be Jacob Moyer. He will be batting first. Batting second is Brandon Hahn. Batting third is Richard Edwards. Batting fourth is Nathan Dill. Batting fifth is Cody Faber. Number 6 spot is Kyle Patterson. Number 7 is Lane Borlerick. Number 8 is Jake Auerbacher, and number 9 is Brandon Hall. As you can see, the warm-ups are getting underway. The Lobos will lead off with Brady Morris. Coming into today's game, very, very close as far as league records are concerned. Fort Collins comes in at 5-2 league, and Rocky Mountain at 6-1. The overall, which really doesn't matter so much, Fort Collins coming in at 10-3, and Rocky Mountain coming in at 8-4. On non-league side, Fort Collins is 5-1, and Rocky Mountain at 1-0. Really, the difference is a couple of different areas that both teams really specialize in, and both teams have very strong points as far as the offense and the defense. Rocky Mountain comes in averaging 10.5 runs a game to Fort Collins 7.5. If you take a look at some of the batting averages, Rocky Mountain averages 430. Fort Collins a very respectable 365. On base percentage, Rocky Mountain at 534 to Fort Collins 475. Now keep in mind the national averages, if you're looking at what goes on throughout the U.S., both teams are way above the national averages. For example, we just mentioned the on-base percentage. The national average is 397, and both teams are at least 100, if not 200 points higher. We'll continue on some of the leaders as far as how they fare. Also on the slugging percentage side, Rocky Mountain averages 662, and Fort Collins very close at 548. The national average is 369. So you have two very healthy teams, two very good pitching staffs, and this should be a dandy from City Park. Leading off, it's Brady Morris, followed by Kalen Hammer, and then John Sorensen. First pitch on the way, and just missing, and it's ball one. Next pitch on the way, taken, and it's strike one, so it's now 1 ball, 1 strike. On the mound is Preston Snavely, who really is the leader. He is very, very good, good control. You'll see a good fastball, good curveball. Next pitch is fouled away, and the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Really the key, if you think about for most pitchers, is keeping the ball down. You can have a very good live fastball, but most of these hitters in these leagues, especially in the 5A conference, can hit fastballs. Next pitch is hit to the right side. Second baseman comes up. Easy play. Throw is high. So on a throwing error, Brady Morris gets on. So there's nobody down. As we talked about, execution really becomes a key here. You could see making good pitches so far is Snavely. But again, it's really what comes down to is making big plays and not allowing teams to get into any kind of rhythm or momentum, especially when you have a good hitting team like the Lobos. So it's Morris on base. Next pitch is hit, base hit. So you can see how the throwing error could make a difference. It could not. We will see how the Lobos do as far as their hitting. So it was Hammer getting up first pitch hitting and getting the base hit. Coming up to the plate is now John Sorensen. So nobody out, man, on first and second, just underway here at City Park. Good to have you along. You know, you can watch a rebroadcast of this as much as you like on radioactive247sports.com, or you can go to our website. You can watch it live, and it is smartphone friendly. So it's John Sorensen looking to cash it in here. Next pitch, fastball just outside, and it's now 1 ball and no strikes. Infield will be definitely looking force play, especially at third in a double play. Keep in mind, this is a very good pitcher for Fort Collins. Can pitch his way out of it. Next pitch taken for a strike on the inside corner fastball. So the count goes to 1-1. The tendency in a big spotlight game, as we saw the second baseman throwing the ball just a little bit high, had plenty of time, might be just a bit tight. There's the curveball, it's popped up. Let's see if there's a play, and it drops for a base hit. So one of those excuse me swings pays off, and now there are bases loaded and nobody out. Play at any place. Coming up next is the cleanup hitter, and it's Jaden Urich. Not exactly the way Fort Collins would have liked to have seen it with their ace on the mound. How big are mental errors? And they always say in any sport, it's how you manage your mistakes, because you're going to make mistakes in pretty much any game that you play. So Sorensen now, their pitch on the way, hit down the line, foul, and it's now 0-1. Coming up next, if that isn't enough, with Urich up to the plate and also bases loaded, you have Austin Allered, who's batting .600, and he's leading the Front Range Conference. He's standing on deck. 0-1 pitch dances for a ball is the batter. Count goes to 1-1. This is where character and nerves really come into play. If you're the starting pitcher, you can see the infield starting to play up, looking for the force at home. 1-1 pitch, took a little bit off, goes home. Nice, there's the play at home, gets the force, they get the double play. So a nice play by Snavely. Ball hit right back to him intelligently. Gets it home, gets the force, and of course the catcher taking it to first base to get the double play. So it's Allered stepping to the bag. Men on second and third looking to cash it in. Austin, we saw him over the summer. Very talented player. He is leading the league as far as wins are concerned, pitching-wise, and of course, as we mentioned earlier, batting .600. Next pitch, fastball just missing. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. This should be a very interesting pitching duel also. You have heavy air. So in other words, the ball should work better if you're throwing curveballs and sliders. Allered waiting. Fastball keeping it low. Very wise, Snavely, keeping the ball down. You don't want to make mistakes against Austin. One pitch on the way. Swung on and missed for a strike. Waved at it. You could see the pace of the ball. Preston doing a good job keeping it low and outside. Not giving him anything really good to hit. You've got an open base, so it's okay with 2 down, even to walk him if you need to. Timeout taken by Allered. Snavely taking plenty of time to deliver, looking over the signs. So we'll start it over again. Next pitch is just a little bit high and outside for a ball. So it's 3 balls and 1 strike, 2 outs on the force double play. Nicely played by Snavely. And preventing a run. 3-1 pitch on the way, just missing, so they walk Allered. And that's where you want to miss. You don't want to make mistakes over the plate, especially if the ball is up. This team is way too good of a hitting team. Both teams, really. Both teams over the national average, as we painted the picture at the beginning of this webcast. Both teams can hit. So coming to the plate is Spencer Gendow. First pitch taken, swung on and missed for a strike, and it's 0-1. You can see the pace that Snavely has, very quick. and his delivery with a nice snap makes it tough to time. Also has a good slider. We'll see if he goes to it. Next pitch taken for a strike on the inside corner. Quickly getting ahead of the batter. It's now 0-2. So again, I like the character that we are seeing of Preston Snavely. Coming through with some big pitches, good play, good heady play, going with the force. Another one hit up the middle. It's going to be a base hit. 1 run will score. They will send another. 2 runs will score. Snavely got that one up just a little bit and paid the price. So Gandow with 2 ribbies, and it's a 2-0 ball game in the first inning. So coming to the plate is Alex Gonzalez, who has been swinging a hot bat as of late. As we did our homework as far as numbers are concerned, Gonzalez was not in the top 5 in some of the categories, but in the last 2 weeks, because of the way he's been hitting, is now in the top 5, and we'll talk more about that as the webcast continues. Took a little bit off, and that looked like a slider. Fouled away, and it's now 0-1. So the Lobos getting ahead here with 2 runs on a timely base hit, and it all started with the throwing error from the second baseman for potentially the first out. 0-1 pitch on the way. It's going to be high, hits him, so the bases are loaded. So Gonzalez wearing 1 for the team, and it's now catcher Chris Deal coming up for the Lobos. Deal is a senior. We had a chance to watch him over the summer. A very good fundamental catcher, blocks very well, calls a good game, and has a good arm from behind the plate. Chris already anticipating college. We believe he has already been signed, so is very much excited about what's coming in the future. Besides at the present, the way the Lobos have been playing, both of these teams most likely will be in the first round of the playoffs. First pitch is hit to center field. Right fielder camping underneath. Makes the catch for the final out. But 2 runs are in on a base hit. And the score after half an inning, it's 2-0, Lobos on top. You're watching the Game of the Week on Radioactive247sports.com. We will take a timeout.
Intelligent, accurate.
Welcome back to City Park, bottom half of the first inning, and really it comes down to execution and really opening the door. Unfortunately for the Lambkins, there was a missed throw going to first base plenty of time by the second baseman, which opened the door, which allowed the bases to get loaded. Then it was a great play by the pitcher Preston Snavely, who made a great play. It was hit back to him. They got the force play. Looked like the Lambkins were going to get out of it. Then a hit batter, and then from there it was a nice single, which produced 2 runs by Gandow. So again, you get it now. There's now 2 runs up on the board, and we're heading to the bottom half of the first inning, and it's the Lambkins' turn to see what they can do. So it'll be Jacob Moyer, followed by Brandon Hahn, and then it's Richard Edwards to finish out the top half or the bottom half of the first inning. Good to have you along on the Game of the Week from City Park, and this really is a battle for Fort Collins this evening. So Jacob Moyer stepping to the plate. First pitch curveball taken for a strike, and it's now 0-1. trying to hit the same spot, just missing, and it's now 1 ball and 1 strike. So it's Chris Steele on the mound. Next pitch high. It's now 2-1. Very good start, really, if you think about it, for the pitcher for Fort Collins. Next pitch hit to the shortstop. Lines it out. So you can see Deal starting to come in and mixing the speeds and the location, going a couple of curveballs and a fastball and the line out to the second baseman. So it's now Brendan Hahn stepping to the plate, followed by Richard Edwards. Deal set. Next pitch taken for a strike. And it's 0-1. Deal working quickly, trying to get that pitch count up. After we interviewed some players yesterday in the game that we did, next pitch hammered to right field. Right fielder camps under it, makes the catch for the second out. One of the strategies that we saw from the pitcher from Boulder is always to try to get that first strike in. You want to get the advantage. You don't want to give the hitter any kind of advantage by giving him a strike to open it up. Then that gives you more opportunity to mix it up. First pitch taken for a strike. So you can see that philosophy with Deal very quickly, and it's now 0-1. Deal delivers. Next pitch going to be low. Really like what I'm seeing here with Chris Deal, working quickly, trying to get a rhythm as quickly as he can against a very good Lambkins team. Next pitch taken for a strike outside corner at the knees. Deal delivers. It's a high fastball, but waves at it. So just like that, 1, 2, 3, and after 1 in the books, the score is 2-0, and it is the Lobos on top. You're watching Radioactive 24/7 Sports from City Park in Fort Collins. We will take a timeout.
Intelligent, accurate, and timely, providing the never-ending stories, the questions, and the answers. The Johnstown Breeze, the source for news and sports in Johnstown and Milliken since 1904, reaching more than 10,000 readers each week. For advertising and subscription information, go to www.johnstownbreeze.com or call 970-587-4525, 970-587-4525.
Top of the second inning, City Park, Fort Collins. Good to have you along. And the game of the week is the Lobos against the Lambkins. And as we had mentioned and really set the table and painted the picture for you, really it was an error that really started it off for the Lobos, and then some good hitting. And one of the things that we pointed out in the pregame is that the Lobos looking for any kind of advantage or a crack, if you will, in the armor, and they found it, and it started because of that error. First pitch is popped up, second baseman camping under, and he makes the catch. So Trey Wagner flies out, and it's now Rich Olson, followed by leadoff hitter Brady Morris, and then Hammer. Again, we were very concerned if we were going to get this game in. Even when we talked to the grounds crew, they'd almost canceled the game for today. Next pitch is waved at. You can see Snavely, why he's the leader in ERA here for the Front Range League, has a very live fastball, and he's showing it tonight. 0-1 pitch on the way. There's a curveball a little bit high. Count goes to 1-1. So really for the Lambkins, 2 runs is really not that much. If you can put the lid on and get back to your defensive prowess and let Snavely do what he does well, they can easily put the lid on the scoring and then just look for advantages themselves. Chris Deal, of course, came out very hot, going to off-speed curveballs and then lacing it with some fastballs and went 1, 2, 3 in the last inning. Next pitch is a fly ball. Center fielder racing, but he's there at the warning track, but drops it as he bangs into the wall in right center. So it's going to be a triple, and the Lambkins back in business again. So sending it a long way towards the warning track. Center fielder had a beat on it, but again running into the wall, which knocked it loose. So it's Hammer, Morris standing on third, followed by Sorensen. First pitch is a curveball outside, and it's 1-0. So very important now to try to get the ground out and really check the runner at third. Third baseman playing up for the Lambkins. Next pitch gets away from the catcher, and most likely, scores. So on a pass ball and a triple off of we'll call it off of the wall. Lobos had another one here in the top half of the second inning. It's now 3-0. So it's Hammer now with open bases. And with an opportunity here with nobody out. Actually checked out 1 out. Next pitch is fouled away. Again, very impressed with the fastball that we're seeing here with Snavely. We're going to give you his ERA numbers here in just a moment and kind of give you what the Front Range is doing also in regards to pitching, as regards to hitting. Next pitch hit, base hit. Just out of the reach. It actually hit the edge of the glove of the shortstop, making a diving attempt, but clearly that was a base hit. So the Lobos in action again here, and it looks like coming to the plate will be John Sorensen, followed by Jaden Urich. 3-0 Lobos. This is the kind of start that they would want, coming out doing what they do best. They're leading in several categories as far as slugging percentage, home runs, and of course, batting average. Next pitch taken, and it's a ball outside. And it's 1 ball, no strikes, and there's 1 down. Infield looking double play. Snavely set at the belt, fouled away. And that's exactly what you want to do if you're Snavely. You want to try to get ahead of these hitters as quickly as you can and then waste some pitches by either going outside with the curveball or some kind of a changeup to get them to wave at it. But throwing a healthy diet really of fastballs, and they've caught up to them, which is not easy to do. Slider outside. So you can see trying to move it around, trying to change the location, trying to change the speeds and the rotation of the ball is Snavely to try to throw off these Lobos hitters who now have 3 runs in the ball game, and we're only in the top half of the second inning. Next pitch is fouled away. Good battle here between Sorensen and Snavely. Really, as they teach you in higher level baseball, you try to extend the count. You try to get the pitch count up. And good hitters will foul them off, fouling off. We used to see that with Todd Helton of the Rockies. Made a career of fouling them off and extending counts. Next pitch blocked nicely. Infield in very good shape with all the water that hit overnight and then, of course, into the morning. Grounds crew, hats off and tip of the cap to them. They did a terrific job. There goes the runner. Here comes the throw. It looks like it's not going to be in time. It's just a little bit wide. So the Lobos now with men in scoring position with one out. Actually checked at 2 outs. Coming to the plate is Jaden Urich. So 1 run is in for the Lobos. Curveball, it's hit deep. We'll see how this travels. It's a short field, and he hits it out. So in left center, Urich sends it out of here, and 2 more runs are in. And on a heavy night also. So you can see the Lobos living up to their slugging percentages, sending one out of here on a heavy night. And coming up is Austin Allered, who also has a lot of power and bat control as well. First pitch is going to be high, and it's now 1 ball and no strikes. So it's interesting, you're seeing power against power as far as pitching and hitting is concerned team-wise, because as we mentioned at the beginning of the webcast, really the edge as far as pitching is concerned would go to Fort Collins. But you can see the power of the hitting of the Lobos coming through with some big hits, as we just saw, and fireworks here on a very cold night in Fort Collins. Next pitch waved at, fastball. Had a little extra heat on that with Snavely. Going against a very good hitter in Alaric. Another fastball inside, just missing at the knees. And you can see it's now 2 balls and 1 strike, 2 outs. But the damage has been done with 3 more runs crossing the plate. Next pitch taken outside for a ball, and it's now 3-1. So you can understand, after getting touched up, Snavely's going to be careful. A very good ERA coming into tonight. 3-1 pitch, hit to the shortstop. Coming up, fires, easily gets him for the final out. But as we mentioned, fireworks has happened here in Fort Collins, and the score is 5-0 after 1.5 in the books. You're watching the game of the week from City Park in Fort Collins. We will take a timeout. Welcome back to City Park. It's the bottom half of the second inning, and it's the Lobos' turn to answer back. Down by 5, and the thinking here is you scratch your way back 1, 2, 3 runs at a time, and this is a team that can do it. As we mentioned, as far as batting averages are concerned, the Lobos have a very respectable 364 team average. Also on base percentage at .475, which is ahead of the national average, and slugging percentage very healthy at .548. So again, nothing to fear here. You just got to settle down and get 1 run at a time and really start to touch up Chris Deal, who had a very good opening inning going 1, 2, 3. So starting it off for the Lobos will be Nathan Dill, followed by Cody Faber, and then it's Kyle Patterson. Deal delivers. It's going to be a one chopper, will get a base hit. Tough play in the hole, clearly a base hit, no error. So a good start for the Lambkins here in Nathan Dill getting on. So it's Faber followed by Patterson. And very important they get this rally going, get at least a run back, and to answer back quickly against these Lobos. Deal went with a fastball, got that up, and paid the price. Curveball just outside. You can see Deal has a very good curveball. We saw him over the summer. Did very well for the Lobos as far as in the State A championship, had a good game. Works very, very quickly. Allered playing first base for the Lobos. Very solid glove. Very solid player as we have painted the picture. So really a golden opportunity here for the Lambkins to strike back. Next pitch waved at for a strike. Infield obviously looking double play. We'll see if they go with a hit and run. Deal set. There's the curveball just missing. Location-wise, if you're going to miss, that's where you want to miss, is low and outside against a good hitting team in the Lambkins. You don't want to get it up on them. They can hit also. Next pitch is high, so Deal just starting to miss a little bit. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike. 5-0. Lobos on top. They're in the field in the maroon and gray. Home team Fort Collins in their white and purple. Next pitch hit. Should drop for a base hit. It does. So the Lambkins coming up with a couple of base hits and in business here in the bottom half of the second inning. Mike Ray along with Jeremy Waters, Josh Duncan, and Warren Ray bringing it to you. Good to have you along. Tonight's game brought to you by Colorado American Legion Baseball. Season coming up, some great baseball. Check it out. One of the teams that you will see in American Legion Baseball this summer will be these Lobos. We saw them last year, and they did a very good job in the State A championship. First pitch waved at, curveball, and it's strike 1. Deal delivers, curveball, waved at. Catcher comes up. Able to keep it in front of him, doing a very good job defensively and not allowing the runners to advance. Chris Deal is one of the best right now in the conference. You can see why. Next pitch is going to be a little bit high.
Run into one here, Kai. Come on, kid. Run in one.
Next pitch is popped up, going down the right field foul line. We'll see if they make the catch. So Fort Collins leading it off here in the bottom half with a couple of hits. Nobody out. Clean base hit with the speed that's on the base pads could score a run and start scratching their way back. Curveball waved at for a strike and strikes him out. So nice placement on the pitch, gets the first out of the inning. And you can see keeping it low and outside. Very hard to hit and committed. So Hammer doing a fine job as far as location on that last pitch. And you can see Chris Deal calling behind the plate, really mixing it up. Two men on, 1 out. Fort Collins threatening. And it looks like a timeout taken by the batter for Fort Collins, trying to throw off a little bit of the pace and the rhythm of Hammer. You can see opening it up was Fort Collins with a couple of quick hits. And you want to try to throw off any kind of rhythm that the pitcher is starting to try to establish. Hammer's pitch just outside. So looking to take some strikes here is Fort Collins and extend the pitch count against Rocky Mountain. Very smart thinking. Good hitting teams with the percentages that they have can afford to do that. Hammer's pitch taken for a strike on the inside corner at the knees. So it's now 2-1. Hammer's pitch, and it's hit hard. This could be out of here. Plenty of flat way back, and it's out of here. So a 3-run shot. And the home crowd is electric after the 3-run shot over the left field fence. Don't need warm weather to send him out of here when you have two hot teams swinging hot bats, and you have two very good pitchers that are being touched up tonight for both teams. Next pitch waved at for a strike. And at the plate, it is Jack, let's see if we can get his name correctly here. It looks like Kabelbauer, if I got it correctly. 1 ball, 1 strike. So it's a 3-run shot over the left field fence with 2 men on, and there's still 1 out. Next pitch goes around on it. So quickly it is strike 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Keep in mind, there's only 1 out. There's still, if you can get on here, you can still potentially take it to a 1-run ball game. Curveball in the dirt. Hammer now starting to have a little trouble finding the strike zone. As we mentioned, both of these teams have very good slugging percentages, and they're not letting us down tonight. Curveball just missing. So it's now a full count. On deck is Brandon Hall. Next pitch fouled away. Good battle going on between both the batter and the pitcher. So another opportunity here for the Lambkins to add another one on the board. Down by 2. Hammer delivers, going to be low, and he walks him. So now it's Brandon Hall, followed by the pitcher's spot, and then the leadoff hitter, Jacob Moyer. So you can see a quick discussion here with Hammer, giving up 3 runs on 2 base hits and a home run. Pitches are not dropping as far as getting in the location. You could see as of late Hammer's curveball just missing. Again, when he does miss, he misses in the right location. The home run was a fastball that got up that was sent over the left field fence. So the curveball is working well. It's just the location of the fastball this evening. So Brandon Hall waits. This pitch is a wild pitch, gets by Deal. So the runner advances, is now on second base. Keep in mind, 1 down, still plenty of opportunity. Base hit could score a run here. Could be a 1-run ball game. Next pitch. Foul tipped, caught by the catcher Deal. And the count is now 1-1. Good battle between these two teams, both pitching and hitting wise. Cat and mouse on second. There's the curveball. Good spot. Hammer started the ball game out throwing a diet of curveballs, and now going back to it, hits the spot just when he needs it, and he takes it to 1-2. Hammer delivers, waved at, another good curveball, and there's 2 down. So 2 very good curveballs on the outside corner at the knees, painting the black and waved at.
Let's go, Jacob.
And now there's 2 down. So Jake Moyer stepping to the plate, opportunity here again to shave it. Base hit should score a run. Hammer set at the belt, fastball. Deal looking to push him back with a throw, but nobody there to receive the throw. So it's 0-1 against Moyer. Next pitch, fastball. It's going foul. Let's see if the left fielder has a play. Does not. So quickly it's 0-2. So good battle here between these two teams. We did not expect the Lambkins to fold at all. We expected to see this kind of competitiveness, getting it back to a 2-run ball game. Both pitchers getting slapped hard here. Both pitchers giving up home runs and base hits. Next pitch, hammer down the right field line, base hit. This should score a run. Here comes the runner going to second on a double. And just like that, it's a 1-run ball game. So a huge 2-out double to score the run, and it's now 5-4. And the Lambkins are not done with this inning. So putting up 4 runs in the inning on 3 hits and a home run. First pitch taken for a strike. So keep in mind, you have a runner at second, base hit, ties this ball game up. Hammer got to feel shell-shocked here in the bottom half of the inning. Curveball, strike 2. That shows you a little bit of the character of the pitcher on the mound. Not afraid to challenge these hitters. So Brennan Hahn looking to try to cash in. Curveball, Deal thought he had it, must have been just a little bit high. As you know, a lot of umpires do not call letter high pitches very much anymore that look letter high. So runner at second, 4 runs are in, 2 outs. Curveball in the dirt, blocked nicely by Deal. Very important you not get this pitch up. This hitter is way too good to try to challenge him with a fastball. Fastball hit up the middle to the shortstop. Comes up firing and gets him in time. But again, 4 runs on 4 hits. One of those hits was a home run. So at the end of 2, that's right, only 2 innings done. It's 5-4. Rocky Mountain on top. You're watching the Game of the Week on RadioActive247sports.com. We will take a timeout.
Make memories at your next party while making a statement for any occasion with a customized dessert from My 3 Cupcakes in Centennial.
I just called to say I love you.
Custom cakes, cookies, cupcakes, party sweets, and favors that are both mouth-watering and visual that will fit your budget. Email Nina at my3cupcakes@hotmail.com for a free estimate or find her on Facebook.
top half of the third inning, and it is fireworks plus here at City Park in Fort Collins. It was the Lambkins putting up 4 runs in the bottom half of the second inning, and the fireworks continue here with the Lobos stepping up to the plate. It is Spencer Gandow who hit the big hit earlier to put the Lobos on top, followed by Alex Gonzalez and then catcher Chris Deal. Now, in case you're wondering how important this ball game is in regards to the standings is concerned, Legacy is sitting on top at 6-0, 11-1. Next pitch is fouled away. And I really like the way that Snavely has not really let up. He is just continually challenging these good hitters here from Rocky Mountain, as was Hammer. But both pitchers have paid the price this evening. Their ERIs clearly may go up just a bit. Curveball and strikes him out. So that's the first really good curveball that we've seen Preston Snavely snap off, and he gets the strikeout. But again, how important is this ball game tonight? I'll tell you why. As we mentioned, Legacy at 6-0, 11-1. Right there, next to them is Broomfield at 6-1. Also, Rocky Mountain at 6-1, and right behind them, Fort Collins at 5-2. So you can see the dogfight, and depending upon what happens with Legacy here in the next 2 weeks, you see teams battling for the league lead. Next pitch taken for a ball. There's 1 out on the strikeout. 1 ball, 1 strike, 5-4. Lobos' next pitch hit. Second baseman comes up with it, makes a beautiful play and throw to get the second out deep in the hole. So a great play by Brandon Hahn to prevent the base hit, and now it's Chris Deal coming to the plate. So Deal, as we know, is a very good catcher. We've seen has power. Also for a catcher, has fairly good speed. First pitch taken for a ball, 1-0. Next pitch is hit to center field. Center fielder there to make the catch. And it's 1-2-3 for the Lobos. And that's exactly what you want to do after producing 4 runs previously, and then you go 1-2-3. So after 2.5 in the books, it is 5-4 Rocky Mountain. You're watching the game of the week on Radioactive 24/7 Sports. We will take a timeout.
Intelligent, accurate, and timely, providing the never-ending stories, the questions, and the answers. The Johnstown Breeze, the source for news and sports in Johnstown and Milliken since 1904, reaching more than 10,000 readers each week. For advertising and subscription information, go to www.johnstownbreeze.com or call 970-587-4525, 970-587-4525.
Bottom half of the third inning, it's the Lobos' turn once again to try to scratch their way back in, if not tying it, maybe into a lead position. Very good ball game this evening. A lot of fireworks. It's Richard Edwards followed by Nathan Dill and then Cody Faber for the Lambkins. We'll give you some scores here of what's been going on. Next pitch is hit for a base hit. So just like the last inning, the Lambkins open it up with a base hit. So it's Nathan Dill's turn to extend this inning, potentially tie this ball game up. As we alluded to in the last inning, how important these games are in the final 2 weeks of the season. Very important they got this game in tonight, especially with the weather that's coming over the weekend. First pitch taken is going to be a ball, and it's now 1-0. So 1 man on, nobody out, bottom half of the third. You can see the Lambkins are threatening once again. Runner gets back in time. And it's Michael Field that's in running for the catcher, Richard Edwards. Courtesy runner. Next pitch is hit, and it's hit hard. Let's see if it gets up the gap. It does. Hits the fence. So we'll see how quickly, and getting a double just like that in minutes second and third. And the Lambkins back in business once again. Nobody out. So catching fire here are the Lambkins, really from the bottom half of the second inning, and it's continuing. The fireworks are continuing. If you're Kalen Hammer, you're making good pitches as far as the curveball. You're putting some heat on as far as the fastball. The Lambkins are just hitting well tonight. So minutes second and third. First pitch taken, first strike, curveball, and it's 0-1. Fly ball ties this game up. Very good inning in the last inning for Preston Snavely, going 1-2-3. And good location. Nice block by Deal. That is not an easy block because the curveball bounced up. And when you have to catch it off of the top part of your chest protector, it makes it very hard, and he kept it in front of him and really blocked it towards the third base where the runner was standing. So again, very good job by Chris Deal behind the plate. Hammer delivers, curveball just missing. Good location, close to the knees, just missing outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Nobody out, 2 men on. Lambkins looking to score. Fastball challenges him, waves at it, takes it to 2-2. Really like what I'm seeing in both of these pitchers. Despite getting both touched up, they have a very short memory and obviously come right back and challenge these very good hitters. Curveball is popped up. Deal has a play on it. Makes the catch for the first out. So oddly enough, got the curveball up. The batter waved at it, popped it up for the first out. So coming to the plate is Tyler Patterson. 1 down, keep in mind, base hit will tie this ball game up. Could send it into the lead. Curveball taken for a strike, outside corner knees, and it's 0-1. We're really seeing a dandy here from City Park. Good to have you along wherever you're at. Keep in mind, you can watch a rebroadcast of this as much as you like. We'll tell you more in a moment. Hammer delivers another curveball. Teased him with it because really he started it at the thighs, and if it had not been fouled away, would have been below the knees. So again, good location there by Hammer. Bottom half of the third inning, only 1 out. Minutes second and third. Hammer delivers. It's going to be a slow roller, going to be a tough play. Run should score, and they get him out at first, but the game is all tied up. So just as good as a bunt, and very well placed, and a very good play by the infield to just get him, because again the speed of the hitter made it very tough, almost got a base hit out of it. So now it's 2 down, and it's all knotted up at 5. It's a whole new ball game here from City Park. As we mentioned, you can watch rebroadcasts of this on our 2 websites. Hammer delivers. First pitch in the dirt, nicely blocked. Deal doing a very good job behind the plate. Senior, of course, expected to go on and play college ball next year. But as we mentioned, you can watch it on Radioactive 24/7 Sports, Radioactive 24/7, or on our Facebook sites or our YouTube channel. And guess what? It's absolutely free. Other scores, Mountain Range beat Loveland 5-4, and Monarch beating Fort Collins yesterday in a very close ball game, 5-4. Fossil Ridge also beating Horizon, another close ball game, 7-6. And Broomfield edging out Boulder 4-3. So some very tough ball games, and you're starting to see a lot of heavy competition. And I'll tell you more about that. Next pitch taken for a strike. Really, because of the shortness of this season, it takes a good month really to get into baseball rhythm, and you're starting to see some of the best baseball here being played in this league as we speak with 2 weeks left. Next pitch pulled foul. Very, very quick bat, and the count goes to 1-2. That's the hard thing as far as high school baseball, really just not long enough seasons like they do in college. Really, you're just getting your timing down just in time, really, for playoffs, which come in a couple of weeks. Hammer delivers fastball, just missing. Deal thought he had a strike there. So the count goes to 2-2. Hammer delivers, fouled away. Pitch was a little bit high, almost shoulder length, but you could see the bat control continuing the count at 2-2. So old momentum has clearly shifted over to Fort Collins. It was Rocky Mountain in the first inning and a half, and now it's Fort Collins answering right back in this inning. Tying up, slow roller to the second baseman, comes up, makes the play for the final out. But again, another run has scored, and Fort Collins leaving a couple of men on, so it's all knotted up at 5 after 2-2 in the books. You're watching the Game of the Week on Radioactive 24/7 Sports. We will take a timeout.
Make memories at your next party while making a statement for any occasion with a customized dessert from My Three Cupcakes in Centennial.
I just called to say I love you.
Custom cakes, cookies, cupcakes, party sweets, and favors that are both mouth-watering and visual that will fit your budget. Email Nina at my3cupcakes@hotmail.com for a free estimate or find her on Facebook.
Welcome back to City Park, top half of the fourth inning, and this game is all knotted up. Credit the Lambkins coming back with some very big hitting, of course a home run, and some very good placement of hitting, and now it's all knotted up at 5. First pitch fouled away. So it's Trey Wagner, followed by Brian Olson, and then it's Brady Morris for the Lobos. So now it's the Lobos' turn to try to turn the momentum tide around. Next pitch taken, it's now 1-1. And right now you can see Preston Snavely really starting to get into a very good rhythm. 1-1 pitch, pulled foul again. And the reason why he's getting into good rhythm, number one, is he's keeping his fastballs down. but also we're starting to see the curveball and the changeup starting to become effective. Initially in the first part of the ball game, it was not working for him, but as you saw in the last inning, really started to work well. Fastball popped up, and it looks like the shortstop's going to take it for the first out. So Jacob Moore is squeezing it for the first out. And coming to the plates will be Ryan Olson. Actually, check that. That's Brady Morris. So one down. First pitch inside. And it's now 1-0. You can see not happy with the proximity of that pitch was Brady. Little brushback pitch. Next pitch is waved at for a strike, and it's now 1-1. Other recent scores: Rocky Mountain over Poudre 12-1. Fort Collins beating Loveland 10-0. Fossil Ridge beating Greeley West 16-15. And Legacy 7-1 over Horizon. 2 balls, 1 strike. Fourth inning. Next pitch taken for a strike. And it's now 2-2. So you can see Preston Snavely clearly getting into a rhythm here, working at a very good pace. Fastball going to be a slow roller to the shortstop. Comes up firing and gets the second out. So 2 balls hit to the shortstop, and it's quickly 2 outs. And Snavely's pitch count has really come down in the last couple of innings versus the first 2 innings. So coming up, it's Kalen Hammer. So Kalen Hammer, the pitcher, stepping to the plate. Opportunity to help his cause. Next pitch is popped up. It's going to be a close play. You can see him coming close to us. And just out of bounds. So again, you could see both Snavely and the catcher making a run for it, and Richard Edwards coming close to us. And basically it's a loud strike. Got to have one in every ball game, right? Make it close here for us. Get the gloves out. So Hammer looking to try to keep this one going, get on base. Snavely goes high. It's now 1-1. Keep in mind, a lot of these pitchers for both teams are very good hitters as well. We've seen that with Allred for Rocky Mountain. There is a changeup just missing, and it's now 2-1. Upcoming games today is Mountain Range at Boulder, Legacy at Monarch. That's a huge game. Next pitch waved at, strike 2. Fairview at Horizon and Fossil Ridge at Poudre. Keep your eyes on the score of the Legacy Monarch game, because Monarch just beat Fort Collins last night and edged him out by a run. So all these teams very competitive. Next pitch is popped up again. So depending upon the outcome of the Monarch Legacy game, we could see potentially at least a tie in the Front Range Conference here for the lead. Snavely delivers a curveball and strikes him out. So Snavely coming through, not with that great fastball, but with a very effective curveball, pulls the string, and he strikes him out. So it's a 5-5 tie as we head to the bottom half of the 4th inning. You're watching the Game of the Week from City Park in Fort Collins. We will take a timeout. Welcome back to City Park in Fort Collins. Kind of appropriate by AC/DC. Wanting to rock and roll all night, and that's what it's been tonight. It's a 5-5 ball game. A lot of fireworks, both teams hitting not only a lot of base hits, doubles, but we've also seen each team with a home run. Now, as I talked about at the beginning of this webcast, as far as these two teams leading in several categories, we'll just start off with batting average. Coming into tonight, Austin Allered batting 600 for Rocky Mountain. And for Legacy, it is Ryan Overbo batting 583. Right next to him in the third spot, not far behind for Fort Collins, it's Nathan Dill at 576. After that, Alex Gonzalez, who's been swinging a hot bat for Rocky Mountain, at 565. And Spencer Gandrow, who hit the big hit earlier to get really Rocky Mountain on the board, is now batting 533. So you can see a lot of firepower for both these teams. We have a new pitcher in the ball game for Rocky Mountain, and it is Caden Breeze who steps up to take over for Kalen Hammer. 1-0 pitch is going to be a slow roller. Breeze comes up firing and gets him. Close play. Very quick off the mound was Breeze to get him by about a step and a half. So there's one down. So coming to the plate is Brandon Hall, followed by the catcher, Richard Edwards. Do not step away from your computer. This is a dandy here. First pitch dug out of the dirt, backhanded by Deal, and it's 1-0. You can see Caden Breeze is not going to give any cheap ones up, keeping it low. Comes back with a strike over the plate at the knees. It's 1-1 That's one thing if you're a relief pitcher coming in and you're seeing how Fort Collins is swinging a hot bat, comes back on the inside corner, painting the black, gets strike two. It's now 1-2. But I guess if you want to call it an advantage, they always say that there's no advantage coming off the bench. Curveball strikes him out. But the advantage is that you've seen where the strike zones are of the hitters so far. And you can also see the previous pitcher where they made mistakes. So in this case, Caden Breeze coming in with two low fastballs, comes in with a slider on the inside and strikes him out. So there's one down. Breeze delivers. Low. Ball one. Coaches love it when you miss low, especially at the knees and below, because you can't get hurt there. Next pitch taken outside corner. Strike one. 1-1. Good crowd here on a very cool night here at City Park. It's really filled in nicely under the lights. 1-1 pitch on the way, waved at, and it's now 1-2. So you can see Breeze has a lot of stuff on the ball. Goes with a 3/4 almost sidearm pitch, and he's moving it. You can see the ball moving around. Another one blocked nicely by Deal, takes it to 2-2. Deal definitely earning his pizza for the night, getting a workout behind the plate. Next pitch dug out again, and it's now full count. So there's one down on the strikeout. Actually, check that, two down. Next pitch is low, and he walks him. So an opportunity here for Fort Collins, two-out rally potentially. And coming to the plate is Brendan Hahn. So we'll see if they go hit and run or try to attempt. Again, Chris Deal, a very good arm behind the plate. Very quick release. So we'll see how aggressive the Lambkins are here. First pitch taken for a strike, outside corner, and it's 0-1. I really like the way Caden Breeze has come in and challenged these batters. Because Fort Collins really clearly has momentum coming into this inning. On deck is Richard Edwards, followed by Nathan Deal. You would almost think that this is fall ball by the weather. We know clearly it's in the 40s here this evening, but you'd never know with this crowd here, and of course the action of the base, the way this game is being played, feels more like 80-degree weather as far as the way the players are playing tonight. Hard to believe, only 2 weeks left. After May 9th, the playoffs begin, and really it will be up to CHSAA, depending upon the outcome here in the next week, week and a half, as far as how they're going to place these teams, both teams wanting to play at home. Next pitch waved at for a strike. Took a little bit off on that one. And it's now 1-2. 2 outs, 1 man on. Collins with an opportunity here to extend this. Give the catcher a chance to maybe tie this one up. He's on deck. Fouled away. Count still remains 1-2. After the summer, of course, we were able to see some of the talent here in the Collins area, Rocky Mountain being one of the teams. Very impressed with the discipline of this team and the character of this team that we saw. And likewise, this is our first look at the Lambkins, very similar as far as their ability to play and play competitive and to come back. Next pitch is popped up. Count still remains 1-2. Really, you think as we head down the stretch, it's just a matter of a few runs and a few plays that could put any of these teams leading the league. It really comes down, it's that close competitive-wise. Next pitch strikes him out as he waves at it. So Breeze doing a good job of mixing the locations, mixing the pitches, going inside, going outside, challenging with fastballs, coming in with curveballs, gets the final strikeout. So after 5 so far in the books, it's a 5-5 tie here from City Park. You're watching the Game of the Week on Radioactive 24/7 Sports. We will take a timeout. Welcome back to Fort Collins, and it's City Park, and we're seeing a lot of fireworks, and so far a very good performance now by Preston Snavely. Also coming in relief for Rocky Mountain, doing a good job, was Caden Breeze shutting down a very hot Fort Collins, and that was very needed. Kalen Hammer pitched a good 2.5 to 3 innings, but then fireworks really lit up here as Fort Collins produced 4 runs, and then, of course, in the next inning came back with another run to tie this one up. So very quickly getting back into the action here, not wasting any time, is Rocky Mountain. So it's going to be John Sorensen, followed by Jaden Urich, and then it's Austin Allered. First pitch taken inside for a ball, and it's now 1-0. How important is it now for Rocky Mountain to start a rally going here to try to answer? Next pitch is hammered, and we'll see it goes over the head of the center fielder, heading towards second and getting a stand-up double. And just like that, Rocky Mountain looking to answer back. It's been Fort Collins in the last couple of innings who have started out the innings with 1 and 2 base hits to get the rally going, And now Rocky Mountain looking to get some fireworks of their own, and they started off with a double. So Snavely, who has pitched a very good last 2 innings, gets hammered with a double. So coming up now is Jaden Urich, followed by Austin Allred. Snavely delivers, waved at, letter high fastball, and it's 0-1. Really looked like some old country fastball pitching there by Snavely, just challenging the hitter, and the hitter just couldn't catch up to it. 0-1. So Sorensen standing on second. Nobody out. Next pitch is high. For Rocky Mountain, very important now if they want to get some of that momentum back to move the man over and potentially score here. Because Snavely clearly in the last 2 to 3 innings has had very good rhythm. And the reason why is the way he's been mixing the pitches. If you recall, he ended the last inning on a curveball, striking out the batter. So you could see starting to get a little bit of command of these Lobos. But it's the Lobos now answering back with a double here in the top half of the inning. Set at the belt. Next pitch for a strike, outside corner knees, strikes him out. So Snavely coming right back after the double, strikes out the next batter, and it's Austin Allred stepping to the plate. Had a chance to talk with Austin last year after a big victory in a big game in the State A championship, and he is just thrilled. He loves to play baseball. Very humble, very soft-spoken about his ability, and often talks about his team instead of himself. And he takes strike 1. Keep in mind, this is a hitter that is batting .600 right now coming into tonight. Clearly Austin, all he needs is a base hit, and the Lobos go back on top. 5-5 tie, top half of the 5th inning. Good to have you along. Next pitch is foul tipped. So a good battle here between both Snavely and Allred, and quickly it's 0-2. We've seen a number of Lobos batters literally going for those high fastballs and tipping them. Next pitch, again, waves at a strike. It's tipped, but the catcher catches it for the final out, for the final strike. So some very good pitching, 2 strikeouts by Snavely after the double, opening it up here for the Lobos. You can now see why Snavely has the top ERA in the league. Next pitch, fastball, outside corner, painting the black, and it's 0-1. So Preston, with a very short-term memory, comes right back and challenges and gets 2 quick strikeouts. If you're a college scout, that's exactly what you want to look for in a pitcher. Not only does he have good stuff, painting the black on that last pitch, getting strike 2, but clearly not afraid to challenge a very good hitting team. 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball hammered up the middle. Base hit. We'll see if the run scores. A run will score. And with 2 outs, coming through with a huge base hit, producing an RBI, and the Lobos back on top, 6-5. Snavely so far, surprisingly, had gone outside and low, hitting and painting the black, but then came up with a fastball right over the middle, paid the price, and a nice base hit to produce the run. So it's now a 6-5 lead. Rocky Mountain on top with 2 outs. So it's Ryan Olson stepping to the plate. Actually, check that. No, it's Gandrow to the plate. And it's Chris Steele, the catcher, to follow. So some very good hitting against, as we mentioned, some very good hitting, or pitching tonight. Fastball fouled away. You know, if you're looking at the pace of the ball tonight with the starting pitcher in Preston Snavely, you would think this is the first inning. He has not slowed down as far as his velocity. What has gotten better is the position of the ball as far as hitting the outside corners, and more importantly, going to the curveball. It probably needs to go more to the curveball here to throw off some of these hitters. There's the curveball. And it looks like they call it we're trying to decide, it looks like they do, it's a tip. Oh, he hit him, okay. So he did catch one on the inside of the arm. So now there are men at first and second, 2 outs. Rocky Mountain still with the 1-run lead after the single up the middle, producing the run. And as we saw with Fort Collins earlier, it was that 2-out rally that tied the ball game up. So now it's Rocky Mountain's turn with 2 outs after taking the lead and trying to extend the lead. So it's Deal stepping up, slow roller to the first baseman, hits the bag, and stepping on first is Stavely, following the ball, and he makes a fine play to get the out. Wow, how important are fundamentals here. They always tell the pitcher to follow the play, and thank goodness for Fort Collins that Snavely was there to catch the ball ricocheting off of first to get the final out. So it's a 6-5 lead, Rocky Mountain on top. You're watching the Game of the Week on Radioactive 247sports.com. We will take a timeout. Welcome back to City Park, and you are watching a dandy here. And it's Rocky Mountain coming back in the top half of the inning to get a 2-out single and to retain the lead. But as you can see, these Lambkins are a team of character also, and have produced in one inning, back in the third inning, produced 4 runs, shaved it down to 1, and then the next inning came back to get 1 run and tie it up. So now you're seeing it at 6-5. We want to thank our sponsors, of course, Crepes and Creams in the Westlake Shopping Center in Greeley. This is a great night to go have some of Paula Miller's famous potato soup made fresh daily. And on a cold night tonight with some very good savory crepes is a great night to go to Crepes and Creams. Of course, the weather has been changing. So again, take advantage of some of those great ice creams that she produces fresh daily, and of course those dessert crepes. Crepes and Creams in the Westlake Shopping Center. That's where King Supers is, off of 35th Avenue. They are open Monday through Friday, actually Monday through Saturday, 11 to 7. So leading off the bottom half of the 5th inning, it's Richard Edwards. He's the catcher, followed by Nathan Dill, and it's Cody Faber. Caden Breeze doing a fine job coming in the last inning. Next pitch is bounced and keeping it low, and the count goes to 1-1. Very, very well played ball game. And what I like about both of these two teams is you're seeing a lot of character as far as the ability to come back. Next pitch, curveball, just missing. You can hear the Rocky Mountain fans were not happy about that one. 2 balls, 1 strike. Edwards waits. Next pitch, curveball hitting the outside corner. And it's now 2-2. Mike Ray along with Jeremy Waters, Josh Duncan, Warren Ray bringing it to you. City Park, next pitch waved at, strikes him out. So Breeze coming in and learning the lessons of watching Kalen Hammer and how he faced these Lambkins and coming in and keeping it low, changing the speeds, and he's got a strikeout for the first out. Nathan Dill followed by Cody Faber on deck. Breeze delivers, keeping it low, outside corner, gets him for a strike. So again, that 3/4 arm, sidearm style pitch has a lot of English on it. It looks like he's almost throwing a hard slider, and you can see a lot of action on it. 0-1 pitch going to be low, taking it to 1-1. So as we talked about at the beginning of this webcast, how important is it for a pitcher to keep the ball down when you have two very good hitting teams? Next pitch in the dirt, taking it to 2-1. You know, you think back a few years ago when the Atlanta Braves made a living on some very good pitchers that always had very good control, Greg Maddux being one of them. The professor, of course, made a living at getting groundouts. Next pitch swung on and missed. Took a little bit off on that. And now the count goes to 2-2. So we see something going on here with the pitcher, Breeze. We're not sure if he hurt his arm. We're not sure exactly, but you can see him kneeling down. And very quickly, coming out was Scott Bullock, the head coach for Rocky Mountain, talking to his pitcher, so we're not sure. And it looks like there might be some kind of an injury to the elbow, and he might have strained something, and Breeze is going out quickly, and it's too bad because he has done a terrific job. And it looks like he is going to be replaced. Yeah, the inside of the arm in the elbow area, so he pulled some kind of a muscle. We're not sure exactly what happened there. So we can see after a very good performance for about an inning and a half, and we'll see who is going to replace Caden Breeze. We believe it looks like John Sorensen, who is also one of the leaders as far as pitching is concerned. It is going to be Sorensen that's going to get the warm-up pitches. We're just going to keep it right here, and we'll talk more about what is coming as far as the league, some of the predictions. We'll also talk about some of the leaders. Speaking of John Sorensen for Rocky Mountain, who is now stepping to the mound, he now leads the 5A Front Range League in far as home runs are concerned. Actually, he is tied with Kyler Patterson of Fort Collins, also Cameron Spaeth of Pooter, Tyler Carpenter of Fairview, and Jaden Urich of Rocky Mountain all have 2 home runs. So how important it is when you have different pitchers that also have power. Don't forget, we've talked about Alarid also. He may not have the home runs, but clearly has the batting average. As far as some of the runs batted in percentages and numbers, leading the way is Alarid with 16 from Rocky Mountain. Jaden Urich from Rocky Mountain with 15. Alex Gonzalez with 15. Braden Hahn from Fort Collins with 14. And Ryan Overbo with 14 as well. So you can see when you take a look at the leaders of both teams putting up some big numbers. And if we go down a little bit further as far as numbers are concerned, one of the leaders tonight, as we have mentioned several times in the ERA department, is the starting pitcher here for the Fort Collins Lambkins, and doing a very good job is Preston Snavely. if you look at how important, we talked about the Front Range League as far as the standings are concerned. Now let's take a look at the state and compare, because they take the top 32 teams as far as the playoffs are concerned. So leading the way as of tonight, coming into tonight, they list Pine Creek at 4-1, Legacy right behind them at 6-0. Then comes Thunder Ridge at 5-1, Grandview at 7-0. Let's not forget Mullen at 8-0. Fort Collins right in the hunt in the top 8 at 5-2. Then Denver East at 9-1, Lakewood 5-1, Regis Jesuit 5-1, who lost to Highlands Ranch, Cherokee Trail 7-1, Fruita Monument, and just a couple spaces down is Rocky Mountain in the top 15 at 6-1. So now they're playing for position, really, as we mentioned, who's going to be at home and who's going to be on the road as far as the playoffs are concerned. So Sorensen done with his warm-up pitches. First pitch is a slow roller, goes foul. Amazed at what we saw with Chris Deal, almost running step for step with the batter following him down to retrieve that ball. And the ball goes foul and tosses it back to Sorensen. So the count goes to 2-2 with one out. Curveball in the dirt. We'll see if he went. And it looks like he did not go. So the count goes to full. So you can see Sorensen, besides having a good fastball, has a very good curveball and a changeup. We had heard that they thought Sorensen might be the starter tonight. Fastball and just missing. You could see Deal holding the glove, and he's actually looking back at the umpire, trying to find out where the location of that was, so he just barely missed. So there's one out, one man on. Fort Collins looking to answer back here. Bottom half of the fifth inning. Will fireworks strike again? We've already seen one home run tonight. Blocked in the dirt, bounces up, so the runner advances. That's one of those plays where the catcher gets in front of the ball, but the bad hop played the catcher in his block, and the runner advances. Sorensen set at the belt. Curveball waves at it. Good location as far as that curveball started it at about the thighs, and it just kept dropping. Really no chance of getting a hold of that one. So you can see runner at second dancing. Sorensen set. Next pitch bounces off the glove of Deal, but keeps it in front of him. Very important part of this ball game right now. Sorensen, who clearly has very good stuff, when you know he's one of the leaders on the staff. Very important he keeps that ball down. Next pitch is hammered to the shortstop. Comes up firing, gets the out. So they hold the runner at second. There's two down. So some very good fundamental pitching here by Sorensen, mixing the locations not only with the fastball but with the curveball, and that time got it up just enough to get the ground out. So there's two down. Next pitch taken, just missing, and it's 1-0. In case you're just tuning in, a lot of fireworks here on a very cold evening. Home runs by both teams and a number of hits by both teams. Next pitch taken low and outside. It's now 2-0. John Sorensen stepping in the inning. It was Breeze who was doing a very fine job. Caden Breeze and pulled something in the inside of his arm, potentially in the elbow area, and had to go out due to injury. But was doing a very good job of slowing down the Lambkins. So man on second. Next pitch inside, and he walks him. This is where it gets interesting now, because you see Sorensen is having just a little bit of trouble getting some of the strike zone, and he's being careful because you have too many good hitters in this Lambkins lineup. So it's Priscillik coming to bat. 2 men on. Opportunity here. Next pitch hammered down the left field line. Quick bat. And it's 0-1. Wow. He was way ahead of that and hit a line shot. Really, if you're the third base coach, you want to pull out that white hanky and wave surrender quickly because that ball was moving. So Priscillik now looking to try to time. There's the throw. And the runner gets back in time. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Man on second. Base hit ties this game up. Next pitch going to be low. And it's now 1-1. Good to have you along on Radioactive 24/7 Sports, the game of the week. Fort Collins Lambkins against the Rocky Mountain Lobos, fighting for position here in this Front Range League. Next pitch going to be a little bit high. Sorensen being very careful. You can see why. Priscillik, very quick bat. You can see that line shot going foul. 2-1 pitch on the way. Going to hit, and it's a base hit. And just off of the third baseman, had a tough hop. It was kind of in a tough position for him to backhand, and you saw it ricochet off the glove, so now you have men at the corners, and there's 2 outs. And you can see heading out to the mound, and it looks like Scott Bullock. We'll see if he makes a change here. It looks like he is. Here comes Austin Allered trotting in from the bullpen, and you're seeing one of the better pitchers that's going to come in. Allered, who is 4-0 right now, is going to try to come in and slow this down. Very important part of this ball game. You've got men at the corners, and you have some of the hot bats coming up in the lineup here for the Lambkins. Really, so far, everybody's had very good hitting nights for both teams. Keep in mind, Snavely, meaning Preston, has really gotten into a rhythm here for the Lambkins. So if you're Scott Bullock, you do not want to let not only a tie happen, but the Lambkins get a lead, especially with the way Snavely is pitching here so far this evening. So Scott Bullock being very strategic here, bringing in one of his better pitchers. And we thought with Sorensen that he would do the trick. But Sorensen just not able really to get the right location, and it's too bad because they had Caden Breeze, who literally was breezing along until the arm injury that we just saw this inning. So Austin Allard, as you can see, warming up the senior, who we saw over the summer, has a very good curveball, has a good fastball, and is very smart in the way that he pitches. And, of course, when you have a catcher like Chris Deal behind the plate, has a very good defensive catcher, so your confidence level as a pitcher, if you miss with the curveball or the fastball, you know the Deal is going to be there to block it or knock it down and keep the runners in front of him. So now for the Lambkins, with men on first and third, trying to keep the ball in play, trying to go opposite field. You can do that. You can almost send the runner at first to try to decoy and to try to throw off Austin, who, keep in mind, Allred also pretty much set to go college somewhere. We have not heard where, but we know when you're the top pitcher in the league and the top hitter in the league, and you were that last year in your junior year, you got to know that somebody's already signed him. It will be curious to see where both Alarid and Deal do end up going, and also for some of these lambkins that are here. Some very good talent here tonight. We know that at times scouts do watch these webcasts that we produce. So it's nice to hear some of these very good players who really have committed their life to their sport. We were in different places in the fall and winter checking out one of the locations where the Lobos work out, and literally when football and basketball is going on, really the season does not end for a lot of these teams, especially for the Lobos and Alarid. We saw the team working out and a long workout, and this was in the fall winter. So all of this hard work is paying off for some of these players who were in their senior season, and you're seeing the fruit of it with some very, very good play by both of these teams. Some very exciting baseball. So it looks like Alarid is all set to go, and we'll see what kind of strategy that they pull up against the Lambkins, who have men on first and third with 2 outs and an opportunity here to not only tie the game but take the lead once again. So it's Colby Carlson stepping in, the junior, in a pinch hitting role, looking to try to touch up Alarid. First pitch fastball waved at for a strike, and it's 0-1. So this is the first left-hander that we have seen tonight. 2 outs. Alarid, for some reason, shook that off. We're not sure exactly what's going on. Now we see Deal going over to Scott Bullock. We're not sure exactly what the situation is here, but it looks like Bullock is going to race out to the mound. We're not sure. Oh, it looks like they're going to do a little maintenance here on Deal's finger, so they're going to tape him up here. You could see Bullock tonight already losing one of their top pitchers in Caden Breeze, getting a sore arm. And now very important that he takes care of his all-star catcher in Chris Deal. So Alarid is set. 0-1 pitch. Next pitch is taken for a strike, and quickly it's 0-2. So making very quick work is Austin Alarid, trying to close the lid on this inning and prevent a run from crossing. Next pitch is outside, and it's now 1-2. On deck is Brandon Hall. So Alarid with a 1-2 advantage delivers, and he strikes him out. So Austin comes in and challenges the batters with straight heat, and he strikes him out. So a very good inning here for the Rocky Mountain Lobos, coming in and doing what they did, because the Lambkins clearly had an opportunity. So at the end of 5, it's now 6-5 lead, Rocky Mountain on top. You're watching the Game of the Week on Radioactive 24/7 Sports. We will take a timeout.
Intelligent, accurate, and timely. Providing the never-ending stories, the questions, and the answers. The Johnstown Breeze, the source for news and sports in Johnstown and Milliken since 1904. Reaching more than 10,000 readers each week. For advertising and subscription information, go to www.johnstownbreeze.com or call 970-587-4525, 970-587-4525.
You know, I think it's rather appropriate as we head into the top half of the 6th inning that they're playing Kenny Loggins' The Danger Zone. I thought that's rather appropriate warm-up music, because clearly tonight has been a night of fireworks. It has been a night of very good pitching performances, and very big plays. And when we say fireworks, literally balls flying over the fences for both teams. So as we mentioned earlier, and we wanted to recap a little bit here, the importance of these games in the final couple of weeks, because after the 9th of May, they head off to the playoffs. So as you look at the top 10 and 15, you do see Pine Creek on top, but sitting in the number 8 spot are these Lambkins at 5-2, and then you go down about 4 to 5 more spots, and you see Rocky Mountain. So now it's Rocky Mountain's turn. Another opportunity here, takes a strike, and it's now 0-1. So it's Trey Wagner, followed by Rich Olson and Brady Morris. Next pitch is hit. Going to center field is going to be a tough play, and it drops for a base hit. So a leadoff single on a bloop single by Wagner, and now it's Rich Olson's turn to try to pad this one up. As we saw earlier with Fort Collins, in the middle innings, that's the way they started their innings, with 2 hits apiece, and that's how they led and tied this game up. Four runs in 1 inning, and then 1 run to tie it and get their 5 runs. So it's a leadoff single for Rocky Mountain. Next pitch is pulled back. They were looking bunt, and it's 1-0. So Preston Snavely really doing a fine job. If you recall, in the last inning, followed the play. Literally, the ball hit the first base, ricocheted. It was Snavely scooping it up and tagging the bag to get the final out. So not only is he a good pitcher, but a very intelligent pitcher as well. What I like that I've seen of Snavely is that when he's been touched up, whether with a home run or a double off the fence, he comes right back and strikes out a couple of hitters. Ball ricochets off the catcher's mask, got away from him and literally bounced off the mask, so the runner advances to second. Generally, when you see a runner going, as most catchers do in their peripheral vision, he was most likely moving, getting into position to make the throw, and misjudged it, and it just literally bounced off of his mask. Snavely delivers. Batter pulls back on the bunt attempt. Did not like that, a little bit high for him. So really an opportunity with nobody out to advance the runner, potentially going fundamental baseball, and it's Brady Morris looking bunt. Takes the attempt. It's a strike as he missed the bunt. Beautiful night here. It's really settled out. We were wondering with the raindrops this afternoon as we were setting up if we were going to get this one in. So it's a full count. Next pitch waved at, and Snavely comes right back and strikes him out. So after a single, Snavely quickly strikes out Morris, and now coming to the plate is Kalen Hammer. Of course, Hammer started the game as far as pitching is concerned. First pitch taken inside corner for a strike, and it's now 0-1. So we'll see if the old adage, good pitching beats good hitting, or vice versa tonight. So far, it's good hitting that's leading. Next pitch is fouled away. It's now 0-2. Really, you think about key plays in a ball game, and really what got it started as far as Rocky Mountain when they scored their first 2 runs in the ball game was the error at second base, which is probably a very rare error, with a missed throw just a little bit high. It wasn't thrown past the first baseman, just a little bit high. Next pitch taken, just missing. Fans not liking that one. So the count goes to 1-2. But really, you think about if the play had been made, 1 if not 2 runs might not have been scored by Rocky Mountain. But instead, the fireworks started. 1-2 pitch is going to be a high bouncer. Second baseman comes up firing, gets him just in time. Close play at first. So quickly there are 2 down. So the runner advances to third, and a very big opportunity here for Rocky Mountain with 2 down. If a base hit could happen, it would pad it. And now it's John Sorensen stepping to the plate. So Sorensen, a very quick outing, coming in relief for Breeze, is also relieved by Alarid. First pitch is going to be high, and it's ball 1. As we mentioned, Sorensen is one of the leaders in home runs in the Front Range League, also has one of the top batting averages, and is batting third in the lineup. Snavely delivers, and it's fouled away. And you can see why he's being careful with him here with a man on third. Very good contact hitter is Sorensen. Good to have you along in the game of the week. City Park, Fort Collins. We want to thank our sponsors tonight. We'll talk about them in a moment. 2 outs, 1-1 pitch. Fly ball. You can see both the shortstop, second baseman, and we'll see if the shortstop, he does make the shoestring catch. You can see that snow cone outside, and a sigh of relief by the Lambkins fans. So after 5.5 in the books, it is a 6-5 lead, Rocky Mountain. You're watching the game of the week from City Park in Fort Collins. We'll take a timeout. Welcome back to City Park. It's the bottom half of the 6th inning. Leading it off will be Brandon Hall, followed by the pitcher's spot, which is Snavely, and then it is Jacob Moyer batting third, who's the leadoff hitter for the lineup. So how important now in the bottom half of the 6th inning? Very important for the Lambkins to try to strike back and at least tie this ball game up. Momentum is everything, and when you have a guy like Austin Alarid, who came in off the bench, or actually from his first base position, struck out the batter to end the side and stop the scoring threat of the Lambkins when they had men on first and third. So the senior Alarid looking to try to make quick work here. Very efficient pitcher. Again, you don't get 4 straight wins and be undefeated if you're not doing your job as far as location. First pitch taken is high, and it's now 1-0. So Brandon Hall, who's very quick as far as that first step, if he can get on and make it tough on the Lobos as far as looking there. He's looking bunt to try to bunt his way on. So it's 1-1. We're going to talk about some of the predictions that are being made. Pull out the crystal ball here for you this evening. We're talking about how Max Preps see as of tonight who potentially could be not only the leaders but also winning the pack. In other words, the 5A conference. They literally list 25 leaders as far as who they feel is in first place. Next pitch is hit right field line. We'll see if that drops. So a loud single. You could see the bench jumping up, hoping that it would land inbounds, but going foul. So it's basically a loud strike, and we're at 2-2. So Allard at 2-2, trying to make quick work here. Next pitch is waved at, strikes him out. Just blow it by him. One down. So it's Jacob Moyer stepping to the plate with one down. Allred goes with the curveball, drops one in off the table for a strike, and it's 0-1. So you can see Allred has a very live fastball, but has a very good curveball that has a lot of movement. 0-1 pitch comes right back. Same pitch, same result, 0-2. Next pitch is a little bit high, trying to get him to wave at a fastball, and it's now 1-2. So very important if you're looking from Rocky Mountain's perspective now is to get Allred in and out quickly. You don't want to get any long rallies started again. Next pitch literally bounces off the glove of Deal, and the count goes to 2-2. Weather clearly in the upper 40s, maybe even upper 30s tonight. But you'd never know it by the way these players are playing. Very active curveball in the dirt. Takes it to a full count. Nice block by Deal. You can always tell a good catcher because they continue to try to block the ball even though there's nobody on base. Good habits, right? Next pitch, fastball, strikes him out. So 2 quick strikeouts here by Allred with a fastball. Couple of curveballs quickly and changing the pace. And the fruit of the labor is 2 outs. So it's Brendan Hahn stepping to the plate with 2 down, followed by the catcher Edwards. We've seen Fort Collins come through with 2 outs and score runs. First pitch just outside with a fastball, and it's 1-0. Now this is a team that can light it up quickly. You get a man on, and they find a way of moving him over. Next pitch high, and it's now 2-0. So Hahn really trying to take advantage here with 2 balls on him. Next pitch taken for a strike, taken a strike, and it's now 2-1. We'll see if Allred comes back with another fastball, or he's had that real nice curveball that he drops in there with great location. Fastball fouled away. It's now 2-2. So very much like Snavely, you see a very live fastball here in Allred, and he likes to paint the corners with it. Snavely also really has not lost, if any, pace that we've seen after pitching 6 innings. Allred comes in with a fastball, strikes him out. 3 straight batters, 3 straight strikeouts by Austin Allred. So after 6 innings in the books, it's a 6-5 lead, Rocky Mountain on top. You're watching the game of the week from City Park in Fort Collins. We will take a timeout.
Make memories at your next party while making a statement for any occasion with a customized dessert from My 3 Cupcakes in Centennial.
I just called to say I love you.
Custom cakes, cookies, cupcakes, party sweets, and favors that are both mouth-watering and visual that will fit your budget. Email Nina at my3cupcakes@hotmail.com for a free estimate or find her on Facebook.
top half of the 7th inning, and potentially for the Lobos, this is one of those innings when you're facing a very good pitcher still with very good stuff in Preston Snavely. This is one of those innings you're trying to pad it up a little bit with just a 1-run lead. Snavely delivers, fastball going to be high, and it's now 1 ball and no strikes. Mike Ray along with Jeremy Waters. Of course, Warren Ray producing, and Josh Duncan. Next pitch is slammed. This is out of here. Home run. Wow. Snavely got that one up, and not only did it go out of the park, but it went over the higher part of the fence in left field, and he sends it out of here. So how's that for padding your score? 1 swing, and it's now a 2-run lead. So Snavely is rudely greeted here in the top half of the 7th inning with a home run and sent it a long way on a cold night. So it's Austin Allered's turn, who came in, as you saw in relief in the last inning, and it was 3 straight strikeouts by Austin, and now he is facing Snavely. So there's nobody out. Next pitch outside, just missing. 7-5 lead. Lobos on top. One-two pitch on the way, going to be in the dirt. Edwards knocking that one down, and it goes to 2-2. You can see the breath of Valorant. You can see how cold it is starting to get tonight. So to hit one out, and the breeze is actually coming in from left field. They're actually facing the next pitch, blows it by him and strikes out Allered. So maybe a little bit anger there by Preston. Blows one by Allered, and he gets the first out on the strikeout. So coming to the plate is Grandow. And Spencer's had a good night. It looks like they're going to have a discussion and maybe running out of gas a little bit here in the top half of the 7th inning. This Preston Snavely. He has had a very, very good outing, and it looks like they're going to relieve him. You will hear a very good round of applause because he has had a terrific game tonight. You're looking at the pitcher in the Front Range League with the top ERA coming into tonight. So we will see who the ball is handed to, and it looks like it's going to be Lane Brzezik coming in, who had some big hits coming in from his center field position, and he's going to get his warm-ups. So let's talk a little bit about what Max Preps has determined are some of the playoff predictions after tonight. So they are listing as number 1 as Pine Creek in Colorado Springs, in case you're wondering where they're at as far as records are concerned. Pine Creek's at 10-1 and 3-1 in league. Thunder Ridge is listed second at 10-2, 4-1. Lakewood at 11-3, 5-0. Number 4 is Heritage at 10-3, 3-1-1. Then comes Grandview at 9-2, 7-0. Fort Collins listed as number 6 at 10-2 and 5-1. Regis Jesuit, who's had a very good season, but keep in mind, had their first league loss against Highlands Ranch just the other night, and they're 10-4 and 4-1. Then comes Ralston Valley at 9-5, 4-2. Dakota Ridge in 9th spot at 8-5 and 3-2. Chaparral at a Parker at 7-5, 4-0. And when you look at some of these, this is where it gets a little bit deceiving. You see some of these standings is the way, as far as the way they list, they base it also off of statistics. So a team could have a very good record, but also be down in the standings and they base it on run percentage, they base it on pitching and fielding. So we'll continue. First pitch is delivered, and it's ball one. So Snavely pitching a very, very brave game and doing a very fine job as far as location, and really probably just ran out of gas. Next pitch is ball two. So Brasic really having to get on target here quickly. Again, with only one out, you don't want to surrender another run. Ball three, just missing. So it's Grandal followed by Gonzalez, and then it's the catcher Chris Deal. Next pitch is outside, and he walks him. 4 straight balls. So very quickly, running out to the mound is the catcher Richard Edwards, going to talk to his pitcher, try to settle him down. A lot of those pitches weren't really that close either. Very tough to come in a situation like this where you know you got to put the lid on, and you have a team that's doing very well in regards to not only hitting against you tonight, but also pitching against you tonight, especially as we saw with Austin Allered with 3 straight strikeouts in the previous inning. So it looks like we're going to have a courtesy runner. We will. And coming in to run is Austin Maciel, number 8 for Rocky Mountain. So Gonzalez, who also is swinging a hot bat, rated number 5, as far as batting average and slugging percentage, is stepping to the plate here for Rocky Mountain. Getting back in time is Maciel. So Gonzalez is not an easy out. As we painted the picture, next pitch waved at for a strike. Challenging Gonzalez. So we're seeing start up some of the character here coming in for the relief pitcher for Brasiak. Next pitch is popped up. More importantly, you get the strike, so you've got 2 strikes on the batter. So now starting to get more into the rhythm of the game, and very tough to come in on a cold night. You have a team that's swinging hot bats and making good plays in the Rocky Mountain Lobos. You can watch a rebroadcast or live anytime you'd like. It's free on Radioactive 24/7, and you can see the different locations that you can watch. Next pitch is fouled away. Count still remains. Good battle here between the two. It's 0-2. So there's 1 down, 2 strikes. Keep in mind, too, when you come in and the temperature being what it is, very tough to come in and be effective. You've got to come in, and that's what varsity baseball is all about, and that's what the spotlight is all about. You're called to come in and you get some outs and get them quickly, and then let your bats do the work in the top half of the 7th inning, or the bottom half of the 7th. Close play at first. Getting back in time is Maciel. So Gonzalez with an opportunity. Next pitch is popped up. Third baseman coming in should make the play, and he does in foul territory. And 2 down. So the strikeout that was recorded before going out of the game by Snavely on Austin Allered, and then the pop-up to the third baseman in foul territory, and there's 2 down. So it's Chris Deal with 2 outs, trying to extend this inning and pad it again. Keep in mind, a 1 solo shot going over the left field fence, and you see the 2-run lead here by Rocky Mountain. First pitch hammered, going to go to the second baseman, just gets past him. It's a base hit. Rocky Mountain, let's see if they wave him. They hold him at third. So Maciel is at third, Chris Steele with the base hit, and you have men at the corners. So it's Trey Wagner stepping up to the plates. How tough is it to get these Lobos out here, scratching and clawing, trying to add another run here in the top half of the 7th inning? Keep in mind, both of these teams use this park at times as their home park. Of course, the Lobos have a very fine field of their own, but have times over the years we've heard that it has been the Lobos, when these two teams meet, are the home team here at City Park. But tonight it's Fort Collins who has the honors of being the home team. So Mother Nature being very good to us here this evening. And it looks like we've got another courtesy runner for the catcher. And coming in, it's Marley Vanderveer coming in to run at first base for the catcher deal. So Wagner looking to do some damage here also. Would not be surprised if they send Vanderveer at first base, especially to try to draw a throw. That would leave Maciel with an opportunity. First pitch taken for a strike, outside corner, strike 1. Wagner looking, fastball again, this time fouls it away, and it's now 0-2. Two outs. This is the top half of the 7th inning. You see it correctly. Rocky Mountain with a solo shot. 2-run pad. Still scratching away, trying to get another man in. Maciel at third. Next pitch waved at, strikes him out with a letter high fastball. So some good pitching prevents another run, and there's 1 run in. So after 6.5 in the books, it's 7-5 Rocky Mountain. You're watching the game of the week from City Park in Fort Collins. We will take a timeout.
Intelligent, accurate, and timely, providing the never-ending stories, the questions, and the answers. The Johnstown Breeze, the source for news and sports in Johnstown and Milliken since 1904, reaching more than 10,000 readers each week. For advertising and subscription information, go to www.johnstownbreeze.com or call 970-587-4525, 970-587-4525.
Bottom half of the 7th inning, City Park, and it's a 2-run lead here for the Lobos, and really very important now to try to extend this and really try to get to Austin Allered. Allered, of course, in the last inning, very strong, 3 straight strikeouts. So it's Nathan Dill, followed by Cody Faber and Tyler Patterson. First pitch taken for a strike, right back in rhythm is Allered. You can see Scott Bullock is not playing around. He wants this win. This could make a huge difference as far as the standings. Next pitch is waved at for a strike, and it's now quickly 0-2. Oddly enough, you look at the state standings, which we presented to you about an inning ago, and Fort Collins clearly about 5 to 6 places ahead. 0-2 pitch waved at, strikes him out. 4 straight strikeouts by Alarid. But if you look at the Front Range League, it is Rocky Mountain who has the 1 game or 1 place lead over Fort Collins. So that's the uniqueness of the way that it is scored between both the state as well as the Front Range League. So quickly 1 out on a strikeout. And it's Nathan Dill to the plate. First pitch taken, delivers another strike, and it's 0-1. So clearly Alarid on a roll here with 4 straight strikeouts. Next pitch is a curveball. It's high, and it's now 1-1. Good to have you along on the game of the week, City Park, Fort Collins. It has been a dandy ball game here. A lot of very good performances, which we have painted the picture for you. Next pitch waved at, and it's strike 2, so it's now 1-2. You can see Alarid coming through with the curveball there. And Dill wasn't quite sure to go full commitment on that swing. And Alarid getting the strike. 1-2 pitch on the way, curveball just outside, taking it to 2-2. So Dill looking potentially for a fastball. There it is, waved at, strikes him out. 5 in a row by Alarid. And if he does this, that'd be 2 straight innings where there has been no touching of the ball, literally. In other words, straight strikeouts. No contact. So coming to the plate is Cody Faber with 2 outs. And very important that he gets on, otherwise this game's in the record books. First pitch is low. Keep in mind, Rocky Mountain came in at 6-1 in league, and Fort Collins came in at 5-2. Legacy playing tonight against Monarch. That's a huge game. We do not have the scores of that game, but if Legacy loses and Rocky Mountains wins, potentially there could be a tie as far as the Front Range. Next pitch waved at for a strike. And very quickly, 2 strikes on the batter Faber. Could it be 6 in a row? 0-2 pitch on the way is going to be high, taking it to 1-2. On deck is Corey Lang. Lang is a junior at 6'1". 1-2 pitch on the way, fastball fouled away. Good battle going on in Faber. You can see it bouncing off of our camera there. So the battle is on here. Next pitch is fouled away once again. Count still remains full. And it's a 7-5 lead. Collins trying to do the magic act here, get the two-out rally monkeys going. Next pitch waved at. And it's 6 straight strikeouts in a row. Alarid records and ends the ball game. And you can see the final score, Rocky Mountain winning a huge ball game against Fort Collins tonight. And the final score is 7-5. We'll do a very quick recap on a cold evening here tonight. And really, it was key hits by both teams that kept them in it. Some very good pitching performance, but really, if you want to really analyze this and get down to being picky about the ball game, it really started in the very first inning where the error was made on the throw, and it wasn't much of a throwing error. It wasn't a wild throw. it was just a little bit high, which really allowed the rally to start, and 2 runs were scored by Rocky Mountain. And really that's been the difference of the game. We saw 2 home runs tonight by Rocky Mountain, sending it out on a very cold night and a breezy night. And we also saw Fort Collins with some fireworks of their own, with not only home runs but some very good hitting and a very good pitching performance. Almost going the whole way was Preston Snavely, doing a very fine job. So as we mentioned, the final score is 7-5. If you look at Fort Collins in the overall record, they're now 10-4 and 5-3, and Rocky Mountain is now at 9-4 and 7-1. So be watching Max Preps to see how they place and how Legacy did tonight, and see who is actual league leaders as far as the league is concerned here in the Front Range. So we're going to call it a night here from Fort Collins. It's been a dandy for our cameramen, who have done a very good job, Jeremy Waters, Josh Duncan, and of course Warren Ray, the producer. I'm Mike Ray, bidding you a pleasant good evening, where the final score, as you can see, was 7-5. Potentially, we are looking at doing another game at Highlands Ranch. We'll see, weather permitting, and that will be on Friday, and that game will get underway at 4:15. So we'll bid you a pleasant good evening from Fort Collins. You have yourself a good evening.